Well, good evening, everyone. If you've landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News, and it's a nail biter of a day because polls have closed in Georgia, and the Democrat and Republican are neck and neck to claim Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. I don't know how that happened. Well, I kind of do, because as I always said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a little bit crazy and turns out also would like to play more with Democrats than she would with Republicans anymore. Shawn Harris, who is a brigadier general and a formidable candidate, why he's running as a Democrat is beyond me, has run for the seat before. And he came in number one in a very crowded field of Republicans and Democrats. Well, he was the only Democrat. And there were, I think it was 10 or 11 Republicans. Ultimately, it was Clay Fuller who came in second. But the conversation was that since this was a plus 37 Trump district, all the Republicans in total got 60% of the vote. And so it should have been an easy win for Fuller. Well, right now we have, let's see. Oh, okay, he's pulling ahead. I'll share my screen so that you can see. Yeah, not what I would like to see. Yeah, I get it. We're we're in a conflict in Iran and gas prices are up. Obviously the red is the Republican and the blue is the Democrat, but I'm watching districts that are solidly Republican leaning Democrat. Now, I don't know what the voter turnout is going to be. I mean, right now, what do we have? We only have 50,000 votes cast. And I think there was 144,000 votes cast in March. But yeah, it's this should have been much easier in this district. And it really pisses me off. It pisses me off a lot because let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say today on her X account. She tweeted, 25th Amendment, not a single bomb has dropped on American civilization. This is evil and madness. And then she posts President Trump's truth that said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. So Marjorie Taylor Greene thought that comment was evil, and she wants Trump checked for his mental health. I don't see it being any more hyperbolic than Trump usually is on truth. But more importantly, I don't see it being any less hyperbolic than she has been throughout her career. So what changed? Well, what changed is today, the Democrats, led by Hakeem Jeffries and the far left woke, all called for the 25th Amendment to be executed so that Trump could be removed from office. All the people who didn't ask for the 25th Amendment to be executed when Joe Biden was the president, when he walked around aimlessly, left $100 billion worth of equipment in Afghanistan and didn't blow it up, just gave it over to the terrorists. They didn't ask for the 25th Amendment when he decided to have a war on oil and initiated and adopted the Green New scam. They didn't ask for the 25th Amendment when we found out that he was blowing up the economy. They didn't ask for the 25th Amendment when the man got lost going into the White House. But they're asking for the 25th Amendment now. But more importantly than them, Marjorie Taylor Greene is asking for the 25th Amendment. What does that say about her? What is it that that she is suddenly doing? Is she going to be part of the View? Just so that you know, the Republicans now 54% and the Democrats 46%. Still too close for my liking. But yeah, so what's up with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is she going to convert? What's she going to do? I mean, she's always been a wacky. I mean, we know even the Republicans censored her. So what is she going to do? Let's say hello to our friends who've joined us. We have Kevin Wall from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues. Hi, I had 3 channels to pick from and chose the best. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. I'm glad that you're on YouTube because the broadcasting software that I use to go on all the channels at the same time said that YouTube was going to have a problem, and I had no way to contact you. So I'm so glad you made it, Kevin. Aloha Santillian. I'm going to show them, since we're talking about elections, I'm going to show them your piece of paper that you shared with me today. Hello, Francine. Good to have you. So give me a guess. What's Marjorie Taylor Greene's next move? What is she doing? Hi, Angela Ricca. Hello, Professor. Good to have you. On the Republican Democrat Party invited me to a VIP wine and dine. I rejected it. They are being way too secretive on who they invite, which I was invited to. Oh, I would go to be a spy. Sometimes you got to be a spy. Take Trump seriously, not literally. Very, very good comment. And in a minute, we're going to take a look at India today and what they had to say about Donald Trump and his commentary about tonight. Hello, Colleen. Oh, by the way, just in case anybody didn't know, he said that he would agree to a ceasefire for 2 weeks if they open the Strait of Hormuz. So he gave them a reprieve. Hello, Jeff Pardo. Good to have you. Yes, I hope we're going to have a great night. How much money has she ever won gambling? Who's that? Marjorie? I don't know. I'm not, I just don't understand who she is, how she got there. I never really did. I liked the fact that she was fiery. I didn't like the fact that we sanctioned her, even though it's clear that she needed to be sanctioned. But I don't like when we do that. I don't like when, like, Kevin McCarthy was trying to do what Thune's doing, right? Oh, we're going to preserve the sanctity of the House. Things have changed. Even with the presidency, things change, they evolve. I remember when there was a time and that scandal meant a girl sitting on somebody's lap, and somebody will remind me, George Hart. I think that was his name, Hart, right? He had a secretary sat on his lap, and there was a photograph of it, and he was married, and that he wound up, he had to drop out of the race, and then we got Bill Clinton, who actually had sex with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. He got blowies in the Oval Office, and he was reelected. So things change, they evolve. The House evolves, the presidency evolves, and so does the Senate. And everybody's got to keep up, because If the Republicans don't keep up, the Democrats will change things. The Republican Democrat Party. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that already. Where did I go? If Trump doesn't succeed, whose fault will it be? I don't imagine it will happen, but I know who to blame it on if it happens. It's definitely the rhinos and the Republican Party. But most importantly, it would be Mitch McConnell. It would be the Bushes. It's the rhinos. It's Thune. And honestly, I'm about over Johnson now. She might be infiltrating the left. Yeah, it sounds like they're getting hold of her. Hello, Tommy McMurray. How are you? I hope you're feeling well. Sanctity of the house. They have men in dresses. That is so true. That's so true. Let's see. We're still doing okay here in Georgia. Oh my God, that's so true. That is so funny. Well, it's they seem to think they are in this very, very brilliant collegiate group that are better than you and I, and that and that the president should be careful of his words. I'm just done. Like a 29-year-old. All right. Did they put a stint in? What did they do? They did. I know my like a 20-year-old. My brother Al is doing really, really well too. He had damage to his arteries for so long that a large part of his heart was destroyed. And at first they didn't think that they could do anything for him, but thank God, modern medicine, they figured out a way to help him. And he was having a hard time, even mentally. He was exhausted all the time because he wasn't getting oxygen to his brain, because his heart wasn't pumping right. And they have so many wonderful, wonderful treatments and the ability to do so many things nowadays. And I just thank God for that. Okay, so this is a long segment, but I want to share with you India today. Oh, wait, no. First, I want to show Santillan what he's showed me. Look at what's going on in Hawaii. We talked about this. This is why the Save America Act is important. It says voters, you are registered to vote. Voters will be automatically sent a ballot at least 18 days prior to Election Day. Traditional Election Day polling places will not be available. Honolulu elections, U.S. Okay. So this is exactly what the SAVE Act is trying to stop. Why can't people show up to vote? Why must people vote by mail? What happens if you don't have a stamp? What happens if your mail doesn't get delivered? You lose your vote and you have no other way to cast a ballot unless you drive to the Board of Elections, where when you do the polling places, they're close, they're smaller districts and they're closer to everybody's home. So what in the world has possessed all these communities, all these states, to only do these mail ballots? What is going on with that? I'm really interested to know why that would be. The only, saving money, is that it? I mean, that creates jobs. Reduce partisanship. What would make them do that? Santillan, maybe you'll tell me, because I don't know. I mean, I've never lived in a state that did that. And has that always been in Honolulu? Has it always been in Hawaii that only mail-in ballots, or is that only after COVID? Hello, Maisie. Good to have you. I was not a candidate for quadruple bypass. They TPA'd me. I'll tell you about it later. All right. That's what they did to my brother too. Exactly. They thought he was going to have the quadruple bypass, but they TPA'd him. So you apparently have the same thing. I wonder what that is. And you're around his age too. So I wonder, is it vaccines? What the hell is it? I don't know. I can elaborate more on this topic. Well, tell us what goes on in Honolulu. And while he's typing, I am going to put up the India Today segment talking about the Trump deadline. And I want you to listen to what they say, because in there, I think, is a very telling piece, a stroke of brilliance on the part of President Trump.
US president, you don't go by what he says, you see what he does on ground. What's happening on ground? He's talking about the end of a civilization. The kind of language that he's using is actually incendiary. If any Iranian hears this, would he want to come in for negotiations, or would he say, okay, now this is like the clarion call to fight for survival of the regime or of the country and of the civilization? Point one. Point two, what's he doing on ground? He's bombing bridges. He's threatening to bomb power infrastructure, energy infrastructure, and Israel's already started bombing bridges. Israel's already targeting energy infrastructure. You may discount whatever America is doing. You cannot discount what Israel is doing, because for them, it's an existential threat. Even if there is a truce, they would want to degrade Iran's warfighting capabilities as much as they can, and they've intensified operations.
Okay, that's a very, very important point. What America does is very different from what Israel does. I'll get Ankit in, but before that, Rohit Sharma is also joining me from Washington, D.C. Rohit, mixed signals, yet clarity on 8 p.m. being the deadline. What's really happening? Are they going to go ahead with the deadline, or are the conversations serious enough to think of negotiations back on track?
The negotiations are happening, Geeta, and it depends on who you talk to within the administration. There are some people who are very hopeful. There are others not so much. So I think, this is the classic, President Trump strategy of putting pressure on, making sure you don't give away all your cards, making sure that you bring your adversary to a point where you can actually win and make a deal with them. So the 8 p.m. deadline is as of right now. I don't think President Trump's changing that. But we do know for a fact that negotiations are happening. In fact, the proposal was received from Iran. The White House did not like it. And I think one of the things, as we've been saying on air for at least a couple of hours now, is that President Donald Trump wants the Strait of Hormuz open without any precondition. And that is one of the sticking points in this deal.
Okay, we'll come back to Strait of Hormuz, but before that, Ankit, Israel and US, they're working in tandem, but yet different.
For the first time since the war started, this is the first time that the overall number of civilian, non-military targets have actually outnumbered the military targets. If you see the total combined number of targets that were bombed by Israel, that were bombed by the US forces, today, for the first time in past 36 days, we can say that the number of civilian targets, bridges, roads, rail lines, all power infrastructure, all those things, although US maintains that the targets that it had hit in Kurg Island, they were only military targets. They have not targeted any oil infrastructure. The port remains. But if you see the overall number today hit by the joint forces, for the first time in past 36 days, we have seen that the number of civilian, I'm using the word civilian, not dual use, civilian targets have outnumbered the military targets. Now, this clearly shows a level of escalation, a sign of things to come. This is in military terms. One side is indicating that we are willing to walk the talk. And this is a very clear message. If you see the diplomatic voices that are coming in, you will hear two kinds of phrases. Tehran has said that it has now cut off all the diplomatic talks as far as ceasefire is concerned. Now, the word ceasefire is also coming from what is reporting that is coming from Islamabad. There is an effort going.
Which is why we were saying that there are different tracks, and you're talking about those tracks.
Yes.
One, where Pakistan is talking about ceasefire and is putting out stories on the ceasefire.
Yes.
The other is coming from Washington, D.C., because they're very specific on Hormuz.
And the key word is Hormuz there.
Okay, so I know that was a long clip, but I think that the takeaway there is this, is that Trump was the one with the crazy talk, right? The 25th Amendment talk. But while he was talking, Israel was bombing. Israel was taking out bridges. Israel was taking out roadways. We weren't doing it. Israel was doing it. And, Trump could say, listen, I can only speak for me. These are the people that have to live with this. They're playing an excellent tag team. Think wrestling. They're playing an excellent tag team, he and Netanyahu, with this whole thing. Also, I think that today they had the women and the children all around the electrical plants. It shows the world that, which they already knew, right? That Iran is willing to have their people serve as human shields to protect the regime. I wouldn't put it past Trump if all those kids and women go home and Trump doesn't do anything, but Israel does. I don't know. What do you think? I understand there's been a hold, but it's unclear. Yeah, it is unclear. And that's the whole thing, is to keep things unstable. The world is all following Trump and his actions like puppies to whatever their mama teaches them. Well, you're right about that. India today are based from my knowledge. Oh, biased. Oh, yeah. Oh, I always go for the bias. If I can, I will go for the people who are not going to sugarcoat shit, because I always want to see what the other side is saying. And I also want to see what is being told to the world. Now, India has, tons of people, right? And we're doing trade with India, but they're cautious with us. And India, they're trying to get India to stop using the US dollar in trading. So I watch them very, very closely because economically, other than China, manufacturing wise and such, they can put a big dent in America. And if they're allied with America, we'll all do better. Hello, Lucille. Good to have you. That's exactly what I was thinking. After the innocent are out of harm's way, they attack. Trump doesn't want to kill innocent people. That's right. And I mean, but here's the thing, right? We see that these Democrats are willing to condemn Trump and ask for the 25th Amendment to be used, even though nothing happened. So they're going to act as if he did something, and he didn't. Santillian, I'll send you the link. If you join, if you use it, you can join the conversation. I'll bring you on stage, and we can talk a little bit about what's going on in Hawaii. I think it's important. But before we do that, let's take a look what's going on in Georgia. We are in Georgia. We are still ahead by 54 to 46. We're 45. It's 30,795 to 26,283. 4,500 votes ahead. Not exactly stellar, if you ask me. We should have been way, way ahead. There should have been no doubt that we were going to win this seat. And I blame Johnson on it, because I got to tell you something. I've been volunteering for the RNC for the longest time, and nobody called me to work. And I'm 3 hours away from Georgia. As a matter of fact, I ran a candidate in that district, and nobody called me, and I didn't hear any murmurs from them, because they felt that they had it, it was solid. But clearly it's not solid. I mean, a 5% swing, no, it doesn't make me happy. 8% swing, 54-46. No, I don't like it. Yes, it's a terrible time to be having an election right in the middle of this war with gas prices like they are. But Georgia, a solid Republican district. Georgia. I saw a video about 6-7 years ago. It was the former leader of Iran at New York, the United Nations. He spoke. It was their responsibility to use hellfire, nuclear weapons. It was said it would bring back Muhammad. Listen, it is definitely. what they were going to do. There's no doubt that that's what they were going to do. Every Democrat said the same thing. Robert, it's in the chat. Look up above Jeff's comments, and there's the link. I can't send it to you any other way. Yeah, so all the Democrats have said, we have to put an end to it. They can't have a nuclear weapon. Kamala said it. Everybody said it. Obama said it. Biden said it. Clinton said it. Bush said it. Right? Can't have a nuclear weapon. But nobody did anything about it. It's the same way as bounties have been put on the heads of, Maduro and other dictators, and nobody bothers to do anything about it except for Trump. To bring about an end to the world. And that's why you can't negotiate with terrorists, because they don't care if they preserve their people. They don't care how many of their people die, because at the end of the day, if you die in the furtherance of Islam, you go to, glory. It's kind of like the Vikings, right? The Vikings on the battlefield. If you died in battle, you went to Valhalla. So somebody who was dying of sickness, they used to kill them so that they could die in battle and get to Valhalla. It's the same here. Whenever you're dealing with religious fundamentalists, and as I said before, we have it Christians, Catholics, Muslim, Jews. We have fundamentalists everywhere. They scare the fuck out of me because they're not tolerant. They're intolerant of every other religion. And they think they're the only religion that will get to glory. And they will do whatever they can to further their religion, right? Remember the Jehovah's Witness and the Hare Krishnas, knocking on doors, trying to save your soul. That's their job, right? They believe it's their job to save their soul. So if you believe that only a certain God made, and this is what blows my mind, right? God made humans, and then now there are religions, and they're worshiping God. Different God, same God, I don't know. Depends on where they came from, what region, the name of the God. If God truly only wanted one religion to be the chosen religion, then that would be it. That would be the religion. But God gave us free choice. And I can't believe that the Jews think that they're the chosen ones. The Muslims think that they're the chosen ones. The Christians think that they're the chosen ones. The Catholics think that they're the chosen ones. Buddhists, if everybody can't be the chosen one. Personally, I prefer to think that God loves us all, and that religion is the politics that keeps us in line. That's me. You don't have to believe that, but that's how I believe. But whenever there's a fundamentalist religion, all the wars that have been fought basically have been fought in the name of God. Isn't that interesting? And sad. There is doubt in every race, in my opinion. Too tight everywhere and too many recent upsets. Virginia, Miami, for example. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can't take anything for granted. You just can't. You can't. Nobody I've spoken to in my little non-political circle even knows who's running against Hochul. That's disgusting at this point. Where's the Republican Party? There's no Republican Party in New York. It is the Uniparty in New York, the same as in D.C. Simple as that. And that happens sometimes in the red states too. Let's see. It looks like, where are we in Georgia? Okay, so he's pulling ahead now, 56-44. He's hold on. I'll share it to the page. He's I know it's too small for you to see, but that the red line is, you can see it. 36,900 to 29,000. So Yeah, he's pulling away. Oh, they declared him a winner. Okay, so Clayton Fuller, we kept the seat. He's been declared by CNN as the winner. So the balance of power: 219 Republicans, 214 Democrats. I do believe that we have others that will be coming up. Okay, I could remove this and not worry about it anymore. We saved the seat. I don't, and we saved the seat in war and with gas being really high. So, but still, Trump was plus 36. That was not plus 36. That was plus 12. I'm just trying to be the best spirit here in this matrix. You are a good spirit in this matrix. All right, Robert, if you want, maybe we'll Facebook and we'll talk maybe more tomorrow. Tonight we're already past our time. The world's population is like condiments. There's not meant to be mixed together. That's interesting. Well, I like mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise and relish on my hot dog, on my hamburger. I mean, I'm not a one condiment girl. And I don't think that there are many chefs that are one condiment people. But I don't know. I think that if you really look at religions and cultures, they repeat themselves. They're mostly the same. Islam is a fairly new religion. It's an interesting, it's a fierce religion. Not unlike though the Jewish religion, right? The Jewish religion is very very much the same, but Muhammad was a brute. I don't think that there was as much bloodshed in the I was going to say in the Old Testament, yeah, but there was in the Torah, as what we see in Islam. But I know that they say that the Quran is about peace, and yeah, it is about peace, but not to the infidels. The infidels, they still believe in taking slaves, and that's who's in control of Iran right now. So whenever you want, I'm off tomorrow. Okay, I'll send you a link. Vegemite and cheese on fresh bread. I have never had Vegemite, but I'm interested. Very, very interested. And I know a lot of people love it. Would you mix relish and mayonnaise? I do. I mix ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, and relish. Yes, I do. Relish and mayonnaise is tartar sauce. See? You don't think they go together, but they do. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you. I love you.